All right, so what is academic bebop? So I think of academic bebop as all the buzzwords for playing bebop, like bebop scales, arpeggios, 7/3 voice leading, enclosures, etc. It's essentially the criteria you'd be graded on in a school setting. Like, did you play the right notes over the harmony, or like make the changes? Did you put chromatics where they need to go to keep chord tones on strong beats? Did you use enclosures? All that stuff is cool and it's actually essential, but the problem is that people stop there. Those are necessary prerequisites for playing bebop, but when we analyze the language of someone like Charlie Parker, there's so much more going on. It's that extra stuff that makes bebop so hip. So in the first example, you heard me do everything right by the proverbial book. So why did it sound lackluster, and why did the second one sound so much better? Well, there's four main things that stand out to me when it comes to getting out of the book. The first one is displacement. Now, displacement just means moving the point of resolution forward or backward relative to the chord change. So if I'm playing a 2/5 in B flat, if I play it, kind of in a vanilla sort of way, it'll be something like, or, and those are fine, but they're kind of boring and predictable after we play them for a while. And we need to be able to do them, but they can't just be like the only thing that we play. So if I were going to displace that, it might sound something like that, or so let's compare the 2/5s in the last line of each chorus. In the first, my phrase is very predictable. It's the same as the phrase that came before it, just transposed. And there's no displacement. Everything happens where it should. Again, this isn't a bad thing, and we need to be able to do it, but we can't play lines like this all the time because it's too predictable. On the second chorus, I'm purposely delaying the 7/3 resolution here, ultimately resolving on beat 3. All right, the next one is groupings of 3. In my eyes, one of the core elements of true bebop playing is groupings of 3 eighth notes. And this is all over language from Bird, Barry Harris, early Sonny Rollins. Now, when I say groupings of 3, I'm not talking about triplets or playing 3/8 as a rhythm. I'm talking about playing a string of eighth notes, but the patterns and accents are in 3. All right, the next one is ending phrases on an upbeat. In the first example, everything I played ended on a downbeat, and this might seem subtle, but a lot of the syncopated feeling of bebop comes from ending phrases on upbeats. And we have to remember that bebop is such a rhythmic language. One of my teachers used to say that I needed more bebops in my playing. So if we were saying like 1, 2, 3, 4, dabba-doo, bebop. And the fourth and final thing is language. I had a teacher tell me in my undergrad that he was like, you obviously understand how to play the correct notes, and now you need to work on your vocabulary. The easiest way to get this stuff into your playing, the stuff I've mentioned above, is to transcribe. And the only reason I can post this video is because I've noticed all this stuff in solos from my favorite players. And it's not just about learning the notes, it's about noticing all the things that you don't do when you're playing. I would listen to Charlie Parker and hear all these groupings of 3 and displacement stuff that I wasn't doing when I compared a Bird solo to my own solo. I've said this before, but trying to play music with theory alone is like learning how to use a hammer and then trying to build a house. Just because you know how to use the tool doesn't mean you know anything about the thing you're using it for, right? All right, I think that's enough for today. That's plenty of stuff to work on. Hopefully just being aware of these things will help you start hearing it and paying more attention to it in your own playing.